Now before we dive into the action and tell you more about this stunning car, please do not forget to subscribe to the Express Drives channel and press that bell icon as well. And if you like this video, please like it and share it also. The BMW 8 Series Gran Coupe that we have with us here today is the sportier avatar of the 8 Series, and this is the car that will take on the likes of the Mercedes-Benz CLS and the Porsche Panamera. And in doing so, BMW promises this car will offer exceptional comfort and brilliant performance as well. But that is again text taken from the press release and the company documents. Out on the open road, does this car deliver what is being promised or not? Well, that's exactly what we'll find out over the next few minutes. Now, this is not the first Gran Coupe that BMW has made. Well, BMW is known for having a lot of Gran Coupes and has been doing so over the years. Now, what the Gran Coupe moniker simply means is that this is basically a grand touring car. And this, in terms of design, has got everything that you would expect from a grand touring car. It's got a really long and a low-slung hood. Of course, it's got this kidney grille and it's all done in chrome, and there is a lot of chrome around. But this car is also available in an M Sport variant, wherein all of the chrome is replaced by a sporty black and other colorful inserts, and that is what I like more. But as far as this variant is concerned, there is a lot of chrome. Of course, the 8 Series has got a lot of sharp curves which give it a very sleek look. The headlamps, again, they have a very sleek design, and when you move to the side, again, the side is a typical grand touring car design. You've got a long wheelbase, and of course then there is the coupe roofline which tapers off right up till the tail and right onto the integrated spoiler on the boot. The rear also, just like the front, is sleek, and the overall effect of the car is a hunkered down, muscular, dynamic car. Of course, it is a great looking car, and it is the one that will turn a lot of heads on the road when you're out driving it. Once you get inside the 8 Series Gran Coupe, you are welcome to a well-appointed cabin. Of course, like you would expect from any sports car, you sit quite low, and that is a good thing. But for someone who's really short, well, visibility could be sort of an issue even with the seat at its highest position. But for someone like me who's 5 feet 8 inches, there is no issue at all. Now, of course, being a BMW, you get the usual interior. You have the 10.25-inch infotainment screen. Now, this can be operated using your gesture control or the touch input or even the iDrive controller here. The clarity is nice and it supports Apple CarPlay, but it does not support Android Auto. It also has a wireless charging pad for your smartphone, and in terms of space, there is plenty of space. The seats themselves are quite nice and comfortable, and needless to say, being one of the premium models in the BMW lineup, the quality of materials and the fitment is top-notch. Of course, there's also the usual digital instrument cluster which we have been seeing on all new BMWs. Now, I'm not a very big fan of it because of the design and the way the readout is given, but again, as a driver, you do get access to pretty much every kind of information regarding the car and your environment on this screen. There's also a panoramic sunroof. Now, BMW says it's a panoramic sunroof, but basically it is two sunroofs, one behind each other. Once you're inside the 8 Series Gran Coupe, the experience you get is exactly what one would expect from a grand touring car, and as far as space is concerned, there is a lot of it inside the cabin. With the driver's seat adjusted to my driving preference, and I'm 5 feet 8 inches, there is a lot of legroom to spare. Headroom, because of the coupe roofline, can be compromised. For me, it's just about enough. So if you are someone who's say probably about 5 feet 10 inches or 6 feet tall, you could have your head brushing against the roof. But the seats themselves are quite nice, very comfortable seats. And again, the cushioning is great. Even the under thigh support is great. The backrest angle, the side support, everything is spot on. That said, this is a seat for 2 adults only. And I still can't get my head around the fact that why has BMW given a seat belt for a third passenger here? Because with this high rising transmission tunnel and the console here, I cannot imagine how anyone can sit in the middle unless you are supremely athletic. You also get electrically operated blinds for your comfort. It's quite easy to pop them up, and of course you have the same for the rear windshield as well. You also have controls to open the rear sunroof from your seat. Now while all of this is good, and of course the 8 Series Gran Coupe has a very comfortable cabin and it is loaded with features, there is one thing missing. At the rear, there are no temperature controls for the air conditioning, and that means you only get a heating or a cooling knob, and you of course have the air conditioning vents. But if this is something that doesn't bother you much, then beyond this there is pretty much nothing I can think of that one can complain of inside the BMW 8 Series Gran Coupe. And now on to the driving performance of the 8 Series Gran Coupe. Now this car is powered by a turbocharged petrol engine, and this develops 335 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque. Now right from the word go, this engine is very responsive. Once you're past about say 1500 or 1600 RPM, the engine gets in its full element and you get a strong surge of acceleration. And of course it's a petrol engine, so you can also have the joy of revving it to above 6000 RPM, and when you do that, you are rewarded to a very good soundtrack. The exhaust sound is particularly good when you engage sports mode. Talking of modes, of course there are the usual modes that you get with any BMW: Comfort, Eco Pro and the Sport, and for this car it is the Sport that you want to be in. And now since I've been talking about how the car sounds, well, it is time to just show you how it sounds and how good the soundtrack is. It doesn't get any better than this if you are looking for a grand touring car. The best thing about being in sport mode and the sound is the fact that when you let go of the throttle at high RPM, you will also be rewarded with pops and crackles from the exhaust, and that is what adds so much more to the driving joy. But if a loud soundtrack is not what you want all the time, you can choose to run the 8 Series Gran Coupe in a very refined manner as well. Slot it into comfort mode and it will gently purr along the highways even at triple digit speeds, with the cabin remaining almost insulated from any kind of sounds. Now all this power that we talked about is sent to the rear wheels, which makes it a great joy to drive. Of course, so much power and torque means that the 8 Series Gran Coupe is a tail happy car, especially when you switch the traction control off. You can have a lot of sideways fun. But as far as ride and handling is concerned, well, it is a grand touring car, so it is not overtly inclined towards performance, and hence does not have a very stiff suspension setup. It is slightly firm, but at the same time the ride quality is very cushioned, especially in comfort mode. All of the shocks are filtered out well when you're going over surface undulations. And as far as handling is concerned, well, the 8 Series Gran Coupe is pretty impressive, because despite its long wheelbase and the sheer size that the car has, it is remarkably agile, especially when you're going through corners. What helps the 8 Series Gran Coupe going through corners at a rapid pace is the fact that it is not as heavy as its dimensions suggest, and that is primarily down to the intelligent usage of a lot of materials and alloys in the construction of the frame. Of course, the grip from the tires is phenomenal, and the sheer control offered by the chassis is again very impressive. And as a result of all these elements working along with a powerful and a throaty engine, what you get is brilliant driving pleasure if you choose to go fast around bends. Straight line stability is of course nothing to complain of. It is remarkably solid and stable at high speeds on highway, and even when you're braking from high speeds, again the brakes do a good job of bringing this big car to a quick and reassuring halt. Priced at rupees 1.3 crore ex-showroom, the BMW 8 Series Gran Coupe isn't exactly what you would call value for money. But then again, who buys cars in this segment for value? Well, the reason why people buy cars like the 8 Series Gran Coupe is because they are desirable and they reflect the personality of the buyer, and that is precisely what the 8GC does. This car is everything what you would expect from a sporty grand touring car. It has got head-turning looks, it has got a fantastic interior, it's got good space, it is comfortable, and at the same time it is engaging and sporty to drive. And if that is what you want, and if you want a car wherein you arrive in style and you leave people with an awestruck look, that is exactly what the 8 Series Gran Coupe offers in spades.